Yay! Hello, everybody. We're so happy that you guys are here. This is our first presentation in Zoom together, and we're happy to be here with you, sharing what is radically changed these last months in our lives. So, thank you for being here. And listen, I truly believe that with all of my heart, that some of you here are about to make the biggest decision in your lives. The information that you will hear tonight could take your life in a totally different path. You can have a radical shift in your life, physically and financially, in ways that you don't even understand right now. But you will at the end of this Zoom. Let me introduce you first to my better half, Gonzalo. He will share with you about the inventor of this technology and his personal results.
All right, thank you, thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Gonzalo Canseco, and I think she's going to start with the
Yeah, let me share.
presentation
Let me share
here
here in the
as we
Zoom.
get going. I'm very excited to be here with my beautiful wife doing this together for the first time. This is the first time that I'm joining her for one of these presentations. And, for those of you who don't know me, I'm an aerospace engineer by career. So I spend a lot of time in front of computers, looking at numbers, typing things. But the most important thing is that I'm a very curious person. I like to know how things work. I like to know how things are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And part of my work is to check that what's being done on a system, on an aircraft, on things are doing what they're intended to do. They're performing their intended function. So, the question that we're going to ask yourselves that where this patch comes from is, have you been patched? And when I first started hearing about this from Mani, about this technology, this patches, and how this technology works, and what it can do, the engineer in me was, wait, what? That doesn't that doesn't click, right? I'm that curious person. I need to know what's going on, and I'm like, that seems so simple. That's too easy to be true, right? Too good to be true, maybe to some extent. So the engineer in me, after she had given me some of the information and kind of told me, here it is, this is what's out there, this is how this works. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do my own research. So I went in and started looking at what this technology is. What are these patches? What are they supposed to be doing, and how are they doing that? Um, you know, the basic concept of it is, well, we're going to be activating your dormant stem cells, right? We all have stem cells, if you know how that works. These are the cells in our body that do miracles for us, right? The stem cells are the cells that when you're a kid and you fall and you break a bone, what do they do to you? They put a cast on you, and what? Is the bone just magically healing? They don't do anything else. But yes, the bone is healing. Those are your stem cells at work. And when you're younger, when you're a kid, you have a lot of these stem cells. Over time, they start kind of going dormant. So these patches are going to be activating those stem cells. And I started looking at, okay, how does this work? And, Vera is going to talk about the technology a lot more in detail, but enough to say that after looking at, okay, there's this uh, this crystals in the patch that are going to reflect the light into your body, and those are going to activate a copper peptide, and that copper peptide is what tells your body to go generate stem cells. I'm like, well, the science checks. It makes sense, right? It's not something that say, well, that 1 + 1 is 2, right? 1 + 1. I wasn't getting a 5 answer, so the science checks. This should work. So what did I do next? I'm like, okay, let's give it a try, right? Let's put the patch on. Let's get patch and see how that goes. And my quick personal story, I'll tell you, as I said, I'm in front of a computer all day long, and I started having what's called carpal tunnel, right? A lot of pain in my hand from having to click the mouse and moving things around. So it came to the point that at the end of the day, after 8 hours of work just trying to mouse, I couldn't even move my finger. Like, it was in complete pain. My hand was hurting. My fingers were hurting. I'm like, all right, let's try it, right? Grab the patch, put it in there, and you know, within a day or two, by the end of the day, the pain was gone. It wasn't hurting anymore. At the end of the day, I could move around the finger. It was all good, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's performing its intended function. That's what I do when I'm doing engineering, is this thing working as intended. Um, so how do we come up with, well, not we, but how did this patches came to be? And what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is it's the inventor of those patches, David Schmidt. He's very nice, real human person. If you get to see some of his videos, if you get to know who he is, it's a great person, very personable. And you know, people say he's a genius. He is. He's got so many incredible ideas. What's cool, I recently learned, he doesn't just do the patches and things, but he's got technologies with drones that are used for providing relief to areas that have been, for example, the areas that have been hit by natural disasters. So he kind of has this aerospace side too. I'm like, yay, aerospace engineers, you know, right? But you know, he's got over 130 patents. He jokes about it that he stopped counting, I think, at 150. I think the number was at 180 last time I looked at. And he's been doing this for a very long time, this what's called age reversing. Going back to even 2004, before the date that you see here, you can go Google this up. He was already involved with his company Lifeway doing some of these patches for energy enhancement. And if you remember, 2004 was the year of the Greece Olympics, and he had gotten in contact with the Stanford swimming team, and the coach said, "Hey, I want to try your patches because you know they're going to give more energy to our athletes." And that year in the Olympic trials before the Olympics, the Stanford swimmers started breaking a lot of their own records and got to the point that, you know, everybody could see what's going on with this team. Why are performing so well? And they noticed all of them were wearing this little patch in the shoulder and got a little bit of controversy, and they got, you know, the authorities involved and send the patches to the UCLA labs, get them checked that there's no drugs or enhancements. And, you know, they ended up seeing that, no, there is nothing there. What you'll hear is that these patches have no drugs. There's nothing being transferred to your body. It's really your own body telling to go generate, or not generate, but put those stem cells that were dormant to get them active again. And it's in 2008 that he started transferring into this new latest technology, which is the X39 patch. It took him almost 10 years to go through all of the necessary tests, trials, clinical studies, spent nearly $4.5 million to bring this to the market. But what it's doing, what this patch now allows everybody to do when you're using it, is just something that's incredible. And the one thing you'll notice, can go to the next slide, is I'll talk about the patent here in a second, is that everybody that tells you about their story with this patch is going to tell you something different and how this patch did something so good for them. And you start thinking about it, like, well, how is it that for me it does this thing, for this person it does another thing, for another? Everybody seems to have different results, all good. And that's the beauty of stem cells, right? Like I said, those are those mother cells, those smart cells in our body. They know what your body needs. I gave the example when you were a kid and you break your bone, they know they have a broken bone, needs to be fixed. So these stem cells in your body know what are the problems you have within your body and how they need to go help you. Now, speaking of, you know, the neat thing about it is that he's gotten patented a lot of these technology. This specific patches have a US patent. And if you do a little bit of research, if you already know what is a patent, you know, patents are there to record two things. You have to be able to prove two things in a patent. The first thing is that there's nothing like this out there in the market, that the technology that you're trying to patent does not exist. So, right, somebody else hasn't already created this. And number two, you have to demonstrate or have to be able to say, what is it that this technology does, right? You can't just say whatever you want in a patent. It's got to be able to demonstrate what is it that you're doing. And these are just the words from the patent of this patch, right? It says that those embodiments, those patches, allow your body to elevate that copper peptide. That copper peptide is what activates the stem cells in our bodies. And it also allows improving the energy, reducing antioxidant or elevation of antioxidants that help our body. So there's many other benefits with this patent technology of the patches. And as we talk how these patches specifically work, that's where Veronica is going to be talking us through those details of how that technology works.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Gonzalo. Just to introduce myself a little bit, I am a mom, I am a wife, and I am also an engineer, but I am a biomedical engineer. So just as Gonzalo said, I think as engineers, we're wired to say, all right, let me find out about it myself. Like I'm going to do my own research and it sounds really good, but I need to prove it myself. And that's exactly what happened. I was very, very skeptic about this patch, and it just seemed very, very simple, but so good to be true. So I went ahead and I asked Moni about, like a little bit more of information. She sent me a lot of information, and I said, "Yep, let me just figure it out, and I'll call you back." And it was very interesting to do this research and start learning about more about what stem cells are. When I started, digging deeper into this research, it was fascinating to understand the whys behind everything what's going on in our bodies. Like, for example, when we are in the around like 30 years old, it's been proven that 50% of our cells, our stem cells, go dormant. They go inactive. So it's for me specifically. I don't know if you guys remember when we were like 20 years old. We have energy for days and days and days, and all of a sudden, around like 30-ish, boom, something happens like aches and pains. For me, it was I couldn't go to sleep. I just couldn't go to sleep. I was just tired all the time, and something wasn't there. I'm in my mid early 40s, so I could see that process. And then when you get to your 60s, it's been shown that we only have 10% of those stem cells that are actually active. So that makes total sense when you actually see that, when you get a little bit older and we age as a natural process, we're seeing all of these effects. So I really wanted something to help me because I was really, really tired. My heart rate was going up and down all of a sudden. And it just makes sense. It's just a natural process of, losing our stem cells from an active environment to inactive. And I started to give it a try. I said, let's just, all the tech, all the science, all the facts were there. And I contacted Moni and said, okay, Moni, let's give it a try. And that's when we can actually go to the next slide, because when we started talking about how it actually works and why I decided to give it a try, you can see Gonzalo talked about it has patents, right? And this patent is because it's a proprietary phototherapy. And I'm pretty sure you all heard about what phototherapy or light therapy is, right? When the most common one that we have where we hear is when babies are born and they have jaundice. They go to the doctors, and the doctors, what they do is they put the babies in this special light, right? And they leave the babies there. What that light does is actually go in. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit nerd out or geeked out because I love the science behind it. It's just fascinated, but I'll try to keep it very straight. What that light does, it helps the baby's blood to break down the bilirubin, and then it gets excreted in the urine and stool. So the baby's body is actually doing all the work. The light is helping it, helping the baby do that work. And that's what's fascinating, right? When we go outside to the sun, we actually can create our own vitamin D. So that's why I went, all right, I'm giving it a try, and I'm going to do this because Moni told me it's not transdermal, so nothing is actually going to go, nothing is actually going to your skin. Like we see other patches that what happens is they're putting stuff in your skin, like nicotine, for example, right? This has nothing. Nothing is actually going to your skin. It is just made of nanocrystals, and these nanocrystals are completely natural. What they're made of is a combination of amino acids and some sugars. And that's it. It just reflects the light that we emit, our own bodies emit. When we put the goggles of the military, I've never put them on, but I've seen it in TV, like you see those little shadows that are like reddish, greenish those are the heat light that we're emitting. And that heat goes up, goes out. And what this amazing inventor did is it actually programmed these patches to reflect just a portion of the wavelength of that light. And that portion, what it does, it goes to specific to, I like to call it like a wake up call to the stem cells. So I can think, like that light is going like, wake up, we need you guys, we need reinforcements. So those dormant stem cells that were inactive after, like this natural process of aging, wake up. And when they wake up, they do what they do. The body is so perfect. And so we were created perfectly. So the body knows what we need. So they're going to prioritize and go where the body needs the most. And I mean, there's no drugs, no chemicals, no type of stimulants. So it's a no-brainer. I said, like, let's try it. Let's go for it. I need something to help me. I work in a level of stress very, very, very high, where the stress actually started to affect my health. My heart rate, as I said, my sleep, I was feeling super tired, so I had nothing to lose. This was all natural. We can go to the next one, Moni. Thank you. And when I started doing this, I said, I'm going to try it and see how it goes, because the benefits are there. And this is just a few of the benefits that has been shown in recording. I mean, everybody's so different. Everybody reacts to everything in a different way, right? Coffee does amazing things for me, but it doesn't. Sometimes people drink coffee and they can't sleep. I can drink coffee at 2 a.m. in the morning and go to sleep with no problem. So everybody is different. So these benefits that you all see here are the ones that were recorded in the clinical trials. Well, by the way, I believe there's like more than 80 clinical trials after a period of 10 years. So there's the proof is there. The facts are there. The science are there. So for me, I actually felt after like around a week and a half, like let's say 10 days, I felt something different. I felt the increase of strength. I felt stamina for sure. Energy and vitality is, I like to call it, this is how I explain. I always explain things by analogy, right? When you drink a coffee or you drink an energy drink, you get that energy for like what, 10, 20 minutes, maybe an hour, and then you start, doing that shakiness. This is not it. There's no jitters. There's no shakiness. For me, the energy that I feel personally is like when you see your kids running around with that endless energy and you go like, man, I wish I had that energy. It seems like, like your energy is going down, but it recharges. That's how I feel with this patch. I feel like that's what's doing in my body, just constantly recharging. But then when I need to go to sleep, I don't stay waked up. I don't stay like hyper. I remember before, because of the work, my brain couldn't shut down. My brain was still trying to think of everything. But now with the patches, I think my brain goes like, all right, it's time to go to sleep. And I actually do sleep. I actually go into a really nice sleep. I wake up really rested. And when my alarm clock goes off, I will like, yep, let's go. Let's do this. It's another day. It's another beautiful day. We can do this. And I can just get up and go. Of course we do, like the routine that we have to do like in the morning, but it's that clear. And it's just a little bit of examples of the great benefits that the X39 can do. We can go to the next one, Moni. Thank you. All right. Excuse me. So I mentioned that, everybody's different. And because everybody's different, the tests or the studies had to be in a long period of time to see how much we react. So that's why it's very important. And that's why we recommend that we do at least 3 months of tests. It doesn't make sense, or it's not fair for you to try it for a month or 2 days or a week and say, no, it's not working, because we actually have a very chaotic environment, a very toxic environment. We breathe toxins, and that's what I mean with toxins. And we are like very chaotic in our bodies. So what we did for periods of years is not going to change from overnight, right? When you go to the doctor, they say you can start on this new medication, come back in 3 months to reevaluate. And that's what they usually say, because everybody reacts differently. Same thing happens with this patch, right? The patch is going to start working right away. you might not see the effects because the effects are going actually from inside out. However, there are some one-day wonders or one-patch wonders that we call. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of them. I was like a 10-day wonder. But there are some people that can actually see some benefits right away. I have a friend that said, okay, I'm starting the patch in the morning. And I always tell them, like, I want to go this journey with you. Tell me, I want to be with you. And she did. She started in the morning, and by 9:30, she calls me. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. It's been 20 minutes and something is going on in my body. I don't know what to do. And it was fun and exciting to see that she was, a one day wonder. And she's amazed. She loves it. She actually had, like all the benefits that we already talked. Within a few days, there's like around 4,000 genes that change and reset. So those are the people that can actually sense that. However, if you are like within the 6-week period, the brain becomes balanced. I think we can all relate with that mental fog and that just with the life that we live, right? It's just everything is so crazy. It's just unbelievable after, like a few weeks that you can actually see that your brain just calms down, helps you think better, helps you remember things better. That's around like 6 weeks. At 3 months is when the collagen increase. And I don't know about you, but I always thought, collagen always have to do with nails, skin, and hair, right? But after doing the research and proving that, like actually collagen is everywhere in our body. And it's so important that when we increase the collagen, you're going to see other benefits that you're going to be surprised. The one that got me in awe was the 6 months milestone. It's been proven in the clinical studies that the heart actually reverses in age. So imagine just having that little patch. I actually put it over here today. Imagine just having that little patch that is going to reverse you in age. That's just, and I'm just going to quote David Schmidt's words here. It's not anti-aging. It's actually age reversing. For me, that was, wow. One of the biggest fears, I think, for everybody is to go into our older years, not being able to be dependent. So by age reversing and being able to be independent and completely have a wonderful, wonderful life, I think that's just mind-blowing. And that's why I fell in love and I started this, and I'm not going to stop. Even though they say 6 months is your heart reverses, I'm not going to stop with this. And if you're like me, or like Gonzalo, or like Bonnie, that would like to know a little bit more of information, you can go to This Is It info. It's right on the top of the screen. You're going to find all the patents, all the studies. You're going to find, like a lot of videos. I'm very visual. So you're going to find videos and a lot of information. Trust me, I did it. I looked at it, and it's really wonderful information. We can go to the next one, Moni. Thank you. All right. So last but not least, we talked about, the wonderful benefits that this patch can do. And as you can see in this screen, there's 2 specific positions, right? One in the back of the neck and one below the belly button. Because when you do clinical studies, you have to make sure that you're consistent and that you can repeat. It has to be repetitive. So actually the measurements have to be according to that, because if you start changing, then that's not accurate. That's why we have this too, because that's how they did it in the studies. But as you can see in the patch, I don't know if you can see it here, but yeah, I put the patch. Yep, there you go. Gonzalo has it in his hand. Moni has it over here. I have it in my shoulder. I was having a similar pain because I'm also in the computer. I just put it in my shoulder and just, I can still click away. So it doesn't really matter where you put the patch, but it does matter how long you put it on. It has to be 12 hours on and 12 hours off. A good way to remember this is maybe you can put a timer. What I do is I put my patches that they come, like this. I put this little envelope next to my faucet. So as soon as I'm done brushing my teeth, I put the patches on. And then in the nighttime when I'm brushing my teeth to go to bed, I just take the patches off. So it's just like around 12 hours. Very important when you start doing the patching is that you stay hydrated. You need to have water. The reason why we say that you need to have water is because you're asking your body to do something, right? And it's like, just imagine a plant. When you have a nice plant that you want it to, grow, you just don't take it out for the sun to soak the sun and that's it. You have to water it and you have to make sure that the soil has the right nutrients. The same with the body, right? So we need to actually nourish our body, have all the nutrients that we need, right? We need to have vegetables, eat our proteins, and then water it because the stem cells are going to work better with, like good replenished cells with water. Plus, if you do have a detox effect, which is good because we have a lot of toxins, some people have this detox effect. Water is going to help you flush it out faster. So that is very, very important. And well, the last thing I wanted to say on this slide before I forget is once you take the patch off, which I still have a little bit more, so I'll keep it a little bit more. Once you take the patch off, you throw it away. You want to use a brand new one tomorrow. And with that, I'm going to pass this to Moni to give you more information about this wonderful company.
Pero I love that analogy with the water. That was awesome. I never heard it. It's so true. I love it. That was awesome. But thank you, Vero. Hello again. My name is Monica Suarez. I am a mom of 3 little ones, a wife, and I'm here to share with you this company as a business opportunity. There are many of us who need extra money for many reasons, whether it's for unexpected bills or the day-to-day expenses that are becoming increasingly burdensome. What was it that attracted me to this business? Well, 9 years ago, I was working in one of the biggest medical and urgent cares here in Virginia, and I loved my job. But after having my daughter, everything changed. I couldn't even think about putting her on a daycare or having someone else take care of her. So for me, that was my job. I wanted to be with her all the time, and I didn't want to miss a second of her life. So I decided to stay home with her. But bringing an income to my family was always important to me, to contribute to the household, to feel useful, and also we all know that it's not wise to have all your eggs in one basket. It is necessary to have at least 2 sources of income. But everything I was going through, with everything that I was going through, I also opened a home daycare. On that time, I was a little crazy. I needed something flexible that would fit into the crazy schedule I had. And that is how 9 years ago, I started working on this industry with a different direct sales company. Despite being skeptical about this type of business, in those 9 years, I don't know, in those 9 years, I learned that it's really important. It became very clear to me, sorry, that by choosing the right company at the right time and working seriously and consistently, you can get where you want to be. Back in April, I was introduced to Lifeway, to the products and the business. But on that time, I was not looking for another business. However, when I began to see the results and testimonies of what this patch was doing for the health of many people I knew, I decided to try the product. I started as a brand ambassador because I already knew all the benefits of this type of business. And I also knew that if this patch was given the results that I was seeing in people's health, I had gold in my hands. And why gold? Because to be successful in this type of business, you need 3 things: a product that is changing lives, exclusivity, and to be a pioneer in this industry. And this company has all 3. This is a solid company with over 20 years in the market. It started in 2004 and is now open for over 80 countries. That means that you can expand and run this business and have customers and partners in those 80 countries from the comfort of your home. It's all about sharing a product that works, that is bringing health, and an opportunity that is helping many with their finances. On the other hand, this company went from being a company that generated $20 million in revenue in 2021 to up to this year generating $600 million. That is huge and unusual growth for any company. Every month we're growing. We're the fastest growing direct sales company, not only in the industry, but in the entire world. We're currently the number 2 company in momentum. And what is momentum? Momentum means we are where the magic happens in this industry. Momentum represents that important element that transforms this business into an unstoppable force. because people are seeing results from a product that works and sharing it with everyone. And the best part is that we're doing it by changing lives with a unique product in the market. Gonzalo and Vero already told you that this company has more than 150 patents and more than 80 clinical studies. What we're talking about here is something that no one else has and will not have, since this is a patent technology. So we already have the two most important things to be successful in this business: exclusivity and a product that works. To that, we add that it is changing lives, since it's bringing health and well-being to people, which is what everyone is looking for. Feeling better, having a better quality of life, and living longer. So to give you an idea of what this represents, it is practically a product that sells for itself, because people see you wearing this patch. They quickly ask you what it is, and when you tell them it is a stem cell treatment, they want it, because more people know what stem cells mean for their health. People are traveling to other countries to get stem cells injections, which are someone else's stem cells, and many times the body rejects them, and they are extremely expensive. With our patch, people get to regenerate their own stem cells, and for a very affordable price. This is a company that keeps innovating and creating life-changing products. Change the slide here. There you go. And it doesn't stop there. We have also seen the endorsement of many athletes, like you can see in the pictures. Even in this Olympics, we were able to see several athletes using the patch. This technology helps them improve their competitive sports performance, and the fact that these elite athletes choose to use it brings credibility and visibility to the product, which moves many people to also use it and ask for it. People are seeing results that unfortunately they are not seeing with medications. And even doctors themselves are being surprised and are joining this company to add the patches to the treatment for their patients. There are countless of testimonials. And now we're actually going to hear a few people. Let me just stop sharing. So then our friend Paola, are you there? She's going to share her testimony. How do I stop sharing? Here. Stop sharing. Okay. Pao, are you there? There you are.
I'm right here. I'm right here. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So my name is Paola Arbeláez. I'm a functional health coach. I'm also a mom of a boy who has autism, high functioning autism. I found these patches through a friend of mine, and she lives in Mexico, and she recommended the patches because I had just recently had a hysterectomy. Unlike you guys, I didn't do that much research. Because I believed in her and she's into the medical business too. I said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and try them because I was desperate to have my inflammation going away. So I tried them, and honestly, I think the first 2 weeks, my abdomen went from super huge to a very flat abdomen. And I noticed that the patch had created like a red spot around the patch. I guess it was sort of healing that inflammation I had there. Then she recommended to use it on my son because that would help him, with focusing, regulating his body, kind of detoxing the body as well. Kids on the spectrum usually tend to have more heavy metals. They have digestive problems, and they're very anxious. So I said, you know what, let me do that. And I started using the X39 along with other patches that she recommended at the time. And because I noticed right away the change, the impact that he had using the patches, I said, you know what, honestly, this thing is just over the top. He usually never sleeps at night. So with the patches, his mind is always running like a Ferrari mind. He's always on the go. And the moment that he started using the patch, I would say maybe within the 3 days, he could sleep all night. So that was a big change because he's never slept like that before. He's always up and about, in the middle of the night, reading a book or coming downstairs, getting something to eat and then going back upstairs. And that was a big improvement. So I said, you know what, I'm going to continue to use them and see what, how it goes. And he's done pretty well. I mean, he actually asked to have the patch at night so he could have a better night. And he notices the difference when he doesn't use the patch. So overall, my experience with the patch, I think it's been amazing. I've been using it for a long time. It's almost 2 years in December. So and I mean, nothing can go wrong. It's just give it a shot, give it a try. I didn't start the business until I registered to become a partner in June, but didn't actually start the business until August. So I'm just fairly new. I'm not there where I want to be yet, but I think that I'm in the right path.
That is awesome. And helping our kids, I mean, that's
Yeah.
fun. It means just so much more to see them doing better and seeing all those results. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Sharon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I have, let me just share my screen again. Here again, right? Nope. Sorry, guys. This is the first time I'm actually, sharing my presentation. Where did it go? No. And this computer, it's not my friend. Gonzalo knows that. We have a love-hate relationship with this computer. All right. It's the computer. But you guys can see, right? Yeah, okay. So the first testimony is actually my dad. Many of you know him, and we've seen amazing results with my dad. One with his insulin, with his diabetes, with his heart too. Right now we're going to share it because we have this video with his trigger finger.
On this hand, this finger, I have trigger finger, and but a year or so on this other hand, the finger. Now on this one, I couldn't bend, it hurt, and I couldn't put it straight, it hurts also. On this one, when I bend, I cannot put it straight. So when I force it to get it straight, it makes a noise, a noise. It doesn't hurt, but it makes a noise.
And it's hard to put it straight.
Yeah, I can tell that's trigger finger. Now, about 3 days ago, I have noticed that I have no pain on this hand, that I don't have a thick sound on this other one, and I can put it straight, and I'm very pleased with it. It's about 3 weeks that I'm using the patch.
Awesome. Good, Gordito. I'm very happy for you.
All right. For several.
It was really nice. This was back in August because we started using the patch in the middle of July. And we were having dinner. We were there sitting. And, my dad has had this problem for the longest time. It comes, his mom used to have it. She used to wear like a specific finger glove, if you want to call it, and because she had to trigger finger. And he was starting to use that. He would always complain about the pain. And that night, we were having dinner, and he just started moving, and he said, one thing that I feel the patch helping, because it was only 3 weeks, and he started moving his hand. For me, that was like, oh my God, because he couldn't do that. It was really, really, I don't know, exciting, and I had to record him on the spot. And it was really nice. Now let me share another one. This one is we have one of the doctors that we work with. This was the father of her patient because she's a pediatrician. And I guess when he went with his son for a appointment, he was complaining and sharing with her that he was having a hard time raising his hand up. I'm not sure what he had. He obviously rotator cuff, but I'm not sure if it was for an accident or what. But she gave him the patch. He tried it, and this is his testimony.
How long have you been wearing the patch?
I've been wearing 2 months now.
Okay, and?
And I had a tear on my rotator cuff. I went and had an MRI done. It was 75% torn in my rotator cuff, and then 100% torn on my bicep. And I started wearing the patch in lieu of getting surgery. Initially, I couldn't lift my arm above my head at all. I couldn't take a glass out of the cabinet. Now I can lift my arm above my head. I can take a glass out. I can't do a lot of weight, but I can do a lot more weight than obviously before. In addition to that, I had something going on with my sciatic nerve, and I started wearing I think it's called Aeon patch, and it went away within a few days, and I don't have any problem whatsoever. So I firmly believe in the patch. I plan on continue wearing it, and hopefully I'm going to hit the gym pretty soon.
Yeah. Right. And we have another one here, and this is the last one.
How long have you been using the X39 patch, and how old are you?
Been wearing it for 2 weeks and I'm 88 years old.
What type of results have you seen since you've been wearing the patch?
I have neuropathy in my feet and hands, and I've had much less pain since wearing the patch.
Has your wife been wearing the patch? And if so, for how long?
Yes, she's been wearing it 3 weeks. She has acid reflux for years. Since wearing the patch, she has had no acid reflux.
Sharing. All right. And yeah, you know that this is the reason why we're all so excited to be here with you tonight to share these testimonies like this one's, changing families' lives, being able to help people in so many ways. Thank you, Pao, for sharing your testimony with us. And one thing that we do want to clarify is that we are not saying that the patches cure these health conditions, but these are the personal results that each one of us is experiencing since we started using this incredible technology. And well, we want to thank you all for connecting and joining us tonight. If you have any questions, please contact the person who invited you. And thank you again for being here. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.